What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I'm always your host, Edwin. And where the war fights start,
Round one.
let's go. Can you guys hear my sound effects? What's up, Frontline? How you doing in the building? Yo, can you guys hear my sound effects? I gotta make sure that. Most importantly, do you hear me loud and clear? We got a lot to talk about. Let's talk about this. What's going on in the boxing world? Well, rumors are circulating that Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. are in talks and negotiations for a big showdown, right? And they can potentially, be on this November card that I think fell apart, you know. And also on that November card up there, wasn't Williams Zapata supposed to be on that card? But isn't he fighting Shakur like right now in July? So I think that card definitely is going to fall apart right there. And, maybe one of these kind of fights can go into that. Then we have Naoya Inoue, the monster, right? He's scheduled to be coming up against MJ Akmandalia. And a lot of things have been transparenting in the boxing world that I want you guys to get back at me and let me know. Loud and clear, yeah. R.I.P. Haney. Yo, yo, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Let's get right into this episode right here. Listen, please give the videos a thumbs up. It really gets notoriety into the video. It helps promote the video. So please give me that thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And I invite you to become a Round One Sports Talk member. So I also want to pull up your chats on the side here because a lot of you do have a lot to say up on the YouTube side. Sometimes I'm noticing that some of these chats are not getting out. But so let's go ahead and correct that. I'm just gonna want to pull you guys up right up here. Yeah, that's better. Hold up. That was gonna come in. I had to turn that off. All right, guys. Listen, for right now, yeah. Well, um, I'm not sure about that, about MJ pulling out in the fight. Like, I've heard like rumors of David Allen Picasso and shit like that, but um let's see what happens with Naoya Inoue, and because it's becoming apparent real fast, real fast. I told you guys, these guys don't want to fight him. They don't want to fight him. They just don't. They What I think the entire division is doing at the 122-pound weight division right now, my honest opinion, they're all waiting for him to leave. That's it. They're just waiting for him to leave. And then Junto Nakatoni went and took this other fight. Now I can respect that fight. I can respect that fight. Why? Why? Because he's just preparing himself to get that much better, you know, in boxing to one day fight Naoya Inoue. And activity is always good. If you ask me, it's always good. So what I'm what I'm looking at right now is they're putting a lot of pressure on Naoya Inoue right now, the boxing world, where that he's gonna start to notice no one at 122 wants to fight him. And he already wiped out the who's who. So he already cleaned out the division and he's just running through the rest of these guys, right? Then John Casamara's name keeps coming up. And then, you look at that fight, right, that John had. And he was able to drop homeboy. And I was like, how do you say his name? No, uh, no, hi, man, I can't say that guy's name, man. But as you could see in that fight, when you look back, at John Casamaro's fight, uh, the guy hurt John Casamaro in that fight. I think it was like in the 11th round. John had him seriously hurt in that fight. John Casamaro hit that dude. Man, the first time he dropped him, when he hit him with that big shot, boom. I was like, oh, he's out. He's out cold. And somehow the referee gave him the time. He survived. And then there was another round where he got caught big, right? That it was at the last seconds of the round. It was like one, like 3, 2, and he got caught. He got caught big. If there was 5 more seconds in that round, that guy doesn't walk out that round. So then John Casamaro's name is a name that is a name from the past that keeps kind of resurfacing. So Naoya Inoue's options at 122, I think he's done. He's done. Nobody wants to fight him, bro. Listen. They're throwing these guys massive paydays. Just think about the scenario. What's really going on, right? Any Naoya Inoue fight, you're probably going to make 4 times, maybe even 5 times the amount of money you were ever paid in any of your boxing matches. Let's just think about that. You're fighting Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue made, I believe, right? Well, the Cardine fight, the Roman Cardine fight, I'm not sure what he got paid. I think he got paid as usual, which is $6.7 million. I think that's what he got. I'm not sure. His last fight, he got that, but see, he get back end money because Naoya Inoue is, when he sold out the Tokyo Arena with Luis Panteranari, shit like that, bro. I mean, it was estimated in 2024. He brought in $42 million, and 32 of that, 35 of that was done by him. And then Turkey paid him to be an ambassador. And I think Turkey gave him like 9 million or some shit like that, or 6 or something, which brought his number to net worth for 2024 was $42 million. What Naoya Inoue made in 2024. That's unheard of for a bantamweight. There's no bantamweight in history that's even come remotely close. Yo, he's making, I don't know if he made more money than Gervonta Davis in 2024. I'll tell you that much. Because out of the 6 fighters, top paid fighters in boxing, when the report came out, Tank Davis wasn't on the report. Naoya Inoue was the 6th dude. So, no, he was 5th. There was somebody else in back of him that he made more money than, that was also on the list. I forget who it was. I have it. I actually have it. Wait a minute. I don't even think I need to guess. Okay, hold up. Bingo. Oh, Naoya Inoue was 6. There it is. Highest paid boxers in 2024. There it is right there. Tyson Fury, 147 million. Usyk, 122 million. Saul Canelo Alvarez, 73 million. Damn. AJ got 60 million. Jake Paul, 48 million. And Naoya Inoue came in at 42 million for the 6 highest paying boxers in 2024. So there you have it. There you have it. And Tank Davis wasn't on there. You know what I mean? So what's up, guys? Let me start reading off your chats. How y'all doing? What's up, Mountain Man? Oh yeah? So that's out of the question. So Casemiro got the ban still? Oh. No. The fix is not in, guys, with Turki Alalshikh. That's not. He just said it would be bad because he has future plans for them. Turki must learn this valuable lesson in boxing. He always has a tendency of putting the cart before the horse. I've been saying it for a very long time. For over a year now, I have receipts. If you've been following me here at Round One Sports Talk, I've been telling you guys, yo, when he did that Wilder shit with that he was supposed to fight AJ, but he fought, who was it? Zhang first, and then got rocked. Then he did it again with Parker, with Wilder, and got rocked. And I kept saying it. I kept saying, he keeps announcing these fights. And he did it with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight was already scheduled. And then Ryan Garcia loses. Turki always does this shit. But if the fix was in, shouldn't we be watching Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia? If the fix was in, Rolly would have took a dive. Rolly didn't know about no damn fixes in. Rolly went out there and knocked the hell out of fucking Ryan Garcia because this is boxing. Turki is going by fucking numbers, calculations, shit like that. Will this guy outpunch this guy according to what blah, 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 blah? He should win. Did you guys see what Isa Pitbull Cruz did to Rolly? He beat the brakes off Rolly. Isa Pitbull Cruz rocked Rolly. He made him look below average. He had him doing the chicken dance all over the ring. Odds, statistics. Was Ryan Garcia supposed to beat Rolly? Hell yeah. But that's not how boxing works. And Turki needs to understand this shit. Turki, yo, he be saying some shit, but if you really just sit back and think about what's going on, is Turki going to shoot himself in the foot? Who's Turki betting against? Turki controls everything. He pays for everything. He's only betting against himself. Technically, he could say these kind of things to add to the drama. But in reality, this is not two promotional companies going against each other like it used to be. Golden Boy versus Top Rank or the PBC, and the fix is in for one side because one guy, he got lead promotional and you're co-working with him. Now that's two sides. But when Turki's hosting the event, he's only betting against himself. What do you mean the fix is in? Why would he fix it? The best thing to do, let nature take its course. That would be the best thing for Turki to do because you get a better fight. That's why Turki's guys never win. Almost every guy that Turki's like, this is my guy, he loses. So how the fuck is the fix in? If all his guys are losing, basically, right? You think he didn't want a trilogy? All Tyson Fury had to do was win that fight against Usyk, and he's got his trilogy. But Tyson Fury couldn't win one of those fights. When Turkey let nature take its course. If he was to rig the fight, all these fights should have happened. We should have a third trilogy with Usyk and this guy, and right now we should be watching Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. And there's a lot of situations that Turkey has hosted the event. This is my guy. When Hamza Shari gets laid out, right? That's Turkey's guy. But guess what Turkey also owns? Edgar Berlanga. So how the fuck is he going to cheat for one guy? Why would he do that? Both those guys are his. Do you understand? No matter who wins, he wins. And then he gets up here and he looks into the camera and he says, let me fuck with these Americans. They take everything so literally. Let me fuck with the Americans. Yes. Don't do it, Turk. Turn on the camera. This is my guy. Yo! Everybody goes into uproar. Bro, we tuning in to make sure Turkey don't rob this guy. Promotion? Turkey? You got the people talking? Because if you're thinking Turkey got to fix the fight for the bookies, he's a multi-billionaire, trillionaire, right? Right? What does he need bookie money for? or to make sure that Vegas covers their spread? You think he doesn't? That's a man that's not moved by anything. He can't be bought. What are you going to give him that he doesn't have? And probably way more than you. And then if you're thinking that they would pay that much money for Turkey to convincingly throw a fight, how much money do you think that fight is going to generate? And do you got all these people betting with you? Where are you making this obscene amount of money where you can pay actually Turkey? How much you think he's worth? Oh my God. This is ridiculous to think of. These fights are not worth that much, actually. The sport, it's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? Where you're like, we stand to make $4 billion. Like, no, you don't. The piracy's at an all-time high. You ain't selling that many pay-per-view. He controls everything, guys. Everything. He doesn't have to rig the fight. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't, man. Nah. What's up, bang bang? How you doing? In the building? Oh, you like my Turk voice? Let's be honest, everyone. We all saw what happened in the. Listen. Jesus Christ. Look, guys. You're right. You are right. That Hamza Sharif fight with Carlos Adames, suspecto, right? Okay. Here's the problem with these things. Okay. Rich people, from my experience, dealing with, I know some pretty well-off people, and I'm not one of them. But when I'm around them, I notice that people voluntarily do shit for you you've never asked them to do. Like Turkey probably never told that judge to do that. But since Turkey knows, and I mean, the judges know that they've seen Turkey on social media saying, "Hey, Hamza's our guy. It's no secret, the Muslim thing, and where he's from or whatever, right?" But he liked this kid, and he wasn't shy to say it. The judges, being the judges, are aware of this. They were never told to do anything. They weren't given any envelopes. They just made sure that Turkey's guy didn't lose. Right, Turk? Later on, they'll go, "Hey, Turk, don't worry. I got you." Turk's going to be like, "Why'd you do that? I never asked you to do that." Thinking these guys do things for these guys and think they'll get in their good graces. You know, I've seen that a lot around rich people. People go above and beyond just to impress them, thinking that they'll get more opportunities at jobs, or, "Oh, he'll keep me in mind for another fight. Next time when he got a fight, you can count on me. I'm just letting you know, here's a free one for you." That's how shit works. And I really think that sometimes a lot of those things playing into these things, and Turkey must be sitting there going like, "What the fuck?" Like, because these fights he's putting on truly have to be, you know, for his vision in the sport, where he sees the boxing sport should be, and where it can be one day. He obviously sees the marketing in it, but he sees now firsthand why he understands more why these fights are not taking place. A lot of promotional, this, that, and the third, but Turkey's pulling it off, man. He's bringing all this money into the equation. So Elvis Baby 38, what's up? Naoya is he'll humiliate him. MJ never really wanted to fight him. I told you guys this. There's gonna be an official excuse before I officially ward him out. Maybe rumors, and a reporter might have put something up. I gotta really search this down. I haven't had any time between doing the workouts, popping up there, wanting to do my show, in fact, and always. So it's up to you guys sometimes to help me out with some of this, so that I could also be informed, or send it to me. Send it to me on Instagram. Send it to me. Tag me in it. Um, you know, um, and I'll be able to get to it and see it. And sometimes shit, I even get my guys sending me stuff, and I barely have time to watch that. So I'm really like far behind in a lot of things. And then, the new motorcycle, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, basically riding a Harley. Yeah, my e-bike gets up to 28 miles per hour. Yeah, so yeah, I'm basically a motorless. Yeah, so you could. So so um July 12 card. What's up, Mr. Miyagi? With the 10. What's up? Oh, with the super chat. What? Mr. Miyagi? By Yo, listen. Yo, come on, guys. Uh, you don't really think that he could catch him with that same punch, Mr. Miyagi, right? To Devin Haney? Okay, he set that young Japanese dude up with that. Jin Sasaki, right? Brian Norman Jr. stepped around. Boom. Yo, he hit him with everything. And the good, you see, the way Naoya Inoue delivers his punch hard, fast, and effective, right? For one, he hurts you with his natural power on the outside. Boom, boom, boom. And Naoya Inoue's feet are kind of like this, right? But when he starts to shuffle and he moves the back foot in, he's like here. He's like there in his step. And he's really grounded and he shoots it. You see his shoulder move first. His shoulder goes first, then his waist, then he snaps like that. Brian Norman Jr., he shifted like this. And I felt like even though his power left the bottom of his feet, where that I didn't think that he was gonna like I thought he probably would hit him, boom, and stun him, yeah. Cause I seen Javante Davis leap and hit dudes like that, and I've seen dudes hit and dropped. But I didn't see dudes get knocked hit like that and put in a coma. He hit that man into another reality. For a minute, he was in between worlds. You understand? Right? He literally saw the other person pay in his life over there. And the other guy was like, man, you ain't doing much better. I'm gonna stay here, right? Yo, it was reported that Jin there said that he like lost track of moments of his life. Like he was like he said I think it was like he said like the last 30 days he couldn't remember the last 30 days. Talk about a punch. But I shit. I don't think Devin Haney stays still long enough to get hit like that clean. But you guys see when he elevated that other dude, right? Wow. Ryan Norman Jr. And then he squatted down and posed at him and looked at him. He had mad blood everywhere. There was like sweat drops of blood. He was just like looking at him. Brian Norman could crack. Brian Norman Jr. could crack, right? Uh yeah, no. The fight is not finalized. No, of course not. With Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney. No, nothing is. There's but the interest between both parties and Brian Norman Jr.'s manager went on the Boxing Voice. I know he had said that he was looking to wait for the winner out of Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrio type thing. But this fight between Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr., I don't know if you guys seen this interview or not. The coach had an interview with both of them on. Yo, Bill Haney started talking about Brian Norman Jr. Sr.'s mom. He started talking about his mother. And he started talking about his mom and type shit. And yo, they went completely this way with it. Like that got ugly real fast. Like real fast. And I'm not sure if you guys know this. Okay, first of all, Bill Haney should have class because his mother passed away. And Brian Norman Sr.'s mother is fighting some shit in the hospital. She's not doing too good, I hear. Whether she's in the hospital or out of the hospital right now, like officially, like today. I don't know if shit changed from yesterday to today. I don't know. Okay. But going at each other's mom, when Bill Haney, bro, your mom died, bro. Have a little class here. Like, and then like I heard, I didn't stick around. I didn't see it. I heard they came back on the show and they apologized to each other. So I have to go back and watch that part. I didn't see that. I didn't see the apology between both of them. but I later caught wind through callers and stuff. So I was like, wow, man, see, man, now that part of the what they're doing is not cool. And I think that that's distasteful. When other countries watch us, what you think? Japan fighters, Filipino fighters, Russian fighters, Chinese fighters, Dominican fighters, Cuban, Ecuadorian, you name it, Mexican. You think their nationality of people didn't watch that interview with coach and you think word of mouth? Let me tell you something right now about word of mouth. I'm gonna teach you something about just your perception of how you think things travel in this world. Okay. If you had a friend and you had told your friend, yo, can you hold a secret? And he's like, yeah. I won't tell anybody your secret, right? Okay, because I'm gonna make it tough for him not to tell it because we're friends. This is a secret. You can't tell nobody. Okay. Statistically, on average, that one person will tell at least 7 people that secret. Okay? On average. From that one, that goes to 7. This is a secret now. Those 7 people will tell on average their own 7 people. You understand where I'm going? And then those all 7 will tell on average. Now, that's a secret. And that's how a secret is going to travel. Imagine if it wasn't a secret. You were able to tell everybody the news. How many people on average do you think you would tell? And on average, how many would that one person tell? That's how rumors, that's how stories, that's how shit travels. You understand? So when Bill Haney and him did this, I don't care if you got 1,000 views. That's not what really how many people saw that or are going to hear about that. No, the amount of people that are going to hear about it, just going to be told about the interview and how I'm talking to you about it. Look, that's how shit, and it's kind of distasteful when the other countries are watching us and they're like, damn, them Americans go hard, bro. Yo, did he say his mama? Did he talk about his mama? Bro, get the machetes, bro. Get the we shing, we chopping him up, bro. Nah, like they must look at us and say to themselves, wow, bro, these guys will say and do anything to try to sell a fight. And all we are over here, they can't even talk our language. They just staring into the camera like this, looking at their opponent, going like this, and they're letting their not their mouths do the talking, but their fists do the talking in the ring. That's why we tune in and watch these other guys. That's why after that guy gets out the ring, even though we know we're listening to a translator, right? We stick around to watch it. Why? Because that motherfucker can fight. He put on a show. Now that performance with Brian Norman Jr. knocking out Jin like that, I didn't see that. I didn't think he was going. He was ranked number 2, that Jin Sasaki kid. He was ranked number 2. He should have been way better defensively sound than that. I mean, that opening was like this big. Like that. It was like Brian Norman Jr. once he was done toying with him. I got shit to do. Oh, now and I'm out. You know, but the class act that is Brian Norman Jr. when he got out of the ring, well, before he got out and he was being interviewed on the win, he gave his opponent credit, recognition, wished them well, uh, said that he will be a champion one day. That was class. That was class. He could have took the other road, the American road, right? Yeah, that motherfucker didn't have nothing for me, man. I knocked the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? You see that? I think he's dead. He's over there. He's fucking dead. All right. Anybody want to fight with me? And at the end, yeah, and fuck his mom. You know what I mean? Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus Christ, dude. We gotta. Ah. That's crazy. Yo. There has to be honor in the sport. You don't act. I'm down for some shit talking. You know what I'm saying? Don't take out the shit talking, the pushing and the slapping. Well, let's keep all that. And fuck it. At the weigh-in, I'll smack the shit out of you. I mean, whatever. Yo, that one push by Saul Canelo Alvarez to Terrence Crawford, everybody went in an uproar. What? He pushed it. It's crazy. He's gonna knock him out. Yo, the sides are really like everybody's taking sides, and so I'm cool with all that shit. I mean, if you don't like when they're like, hey, I'm gonna fuck you up, I'm gonna knock you out, I'll knock you out, your coach, fuck you and you, blah blah. Like, this is a violent sport. You don't like the pushing at the weigh-in or the smacking or the occasional throat grab, you know what I mean? Then I don't know. I hear bowling is a good hobby you could watch. You could cross mountain skiing. I don't know what you're into, but this boxing might not be it. Don't have a weak stomach. There's gonna be some distasteful moments in boxing. Yeah, it's going to be. You know, this is the type of sport where a lot of egos, machismo, are clashing. No, fuck you. I'm the best. No, I'm the best. No, who told you I was the best? You know what I mean? Sometimes it goes left, but it adds to the fight. So that part, I'm cool with all that shit. But all this, your mama, bro, interview's over right now. All right. Like, and for people like me that my mom passed away, and I'm just like, what'd you just say? Like, yeah, it's. I don't know, Bill. You crazy, Bill. You fucking crazy. One day we would meet. I'm pretty sure our paths would cross. I don't know about that road. That's people. There's some people that can handle that shit, and there's some people that just can't. They'll spaz out on you. Like, I've never been in that situation. So, and I don't want to be, but I thought that was real. Like, come on, guys. You guys are already been on multiple different platforms promoting this fight, trying to get both sides to come together and, get this fight going. And then here we go with this shit. Like, nah, there's enough. There's enough in both your sons' stories and the way both your sons have came up being a father and son duo. There was enough there by itself to sell this fight. And the fact that Devin Haney took this kind of fight, because it speaks to a lot of people saying Devin Haney's shying away from powerful fighters or that he has a glass jaw or whatever. You've heard some of the stories that are being put out there, right? So I guess apparently, all of a sudden now, Brian Norman Jr. can hit Devin Haney with that exact punch he hit that Japanese dude with. And I'm like, hell no. Devin would never get hit with a punch like that. I don't think so. Not like that. He might get caught by the power. Devin can get caught exchanging big on the inside and a big left or right check hook or even an uppercut. Could hurt Devin, put him out, or even finish him. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Brian can, but not the way he knocked out that Jen kid like that. Nah, that you catch a lower level fighter with a shot like that. You're not quite catching Devin Haney with a shot like that. You're gonna, it's gonna be a shot like that, but it's gonna look a lot different. He's gonna have to work for the shot. If anything, he gets Devin up on the ropes, boom, boom. There's a lot of ways it could play out, thousands of ways it could play out. If Brian Norman Jr. catches him flush, and Devin doesn't see the punch, and he catches him weak, Devin might go to sleep. Yeah, but this rumor that Devin Haney doesn't have any power, that's alarming because yeah, he doesn't have like this massive one punch knocking power in which he's knocked guys out with one punch, but that punch came from like downtown from over there. That's how and the way that kid must have been hurt, that he must have been froze up like this and was watching the punch come and he just couldn't move. He just couldn't move. And he got caught. Bah, and he got finished by Devin with one punch. It was accumulation of punch that led to one punch. That's what happened. So I think that Devin does have punching power. I just don't think that it's a big, like, it's not like Brian Norman Jr.'s power. You could see the effects on his fighters. And we also got to take in consideration that Brian Norman Jr. is basically learning on the job. He doesn't have an extensive amateur background. No. With every fight, Brian Norman Jr. is like, I think had he had a better amateur background, Brian Norman Jr., had he had a better amateur background, he would be better today as a professional. He would be further along in the way he's looking. And he's doing all of this with basically little, what 5, 6 years in the boxing world? Like, no, well, let me find out. Let me find out that the Haneys are trying to move away from the fight round one. Well, it's not the fact that they're trying to move away. I'm just stating that in actuality, uh, there's like I don't think they've already done a dollar amount on the fight, right? How much is Brian Norman Jr. being paid? How much is Devin being paid? I don't think we got there yet. You know what I mean? I don't think we got where the fight's gonna take place, where the venue is. What's the date of the fight? See, that's when everything is finalized. And you could just come out, yup, Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr., they gonna fight. Just because the two dads got on social media and said, yep, I want it. Yup, I'm taking it. Yup, I'm letting the world know. We're working on it. That doesn't mean that the fight's gonna happen. You know, what if fucking Devin Haney wakes up tomorrow and realizes, oh shit, I'm at the edge of the cliff. Hell no, I ain't taking this fight. Like, I which actuality, I think that Devin Haney is the more skilled. He has the more boxing experience. Who does Brian Norman Jr. have on his record that you can legitimately say that's a Lomachenko? And that he beat him? Because he's got to have the win, right? Okay. Because Devin Haney's got Loma on his resume. Leonard, on his resume. You know, so who did Brian Norman Jr. beat now? Where's that? The list of who's owls? Who'd he beat? Who'd he beat? Who'd he beat? Who'd he beat? I would love to know. Like, mm, Carlos Ramirez was 5-1. Kenny wouldn't. Juan Rodriguez Jr. was 13-7. Jesse Armando Perez Campos 24-4. Giovanni 32-0. All right. Yeah, that's a padded record if I ever seen one. Not unless he ever had a WBA world title. He was never officially a world champion, that guy. Decent record. Giovanni. Nah, so as far as competition goes, Brian Newman Jr., um, I don't think he's fought the kind of guys that Devin Haney's already fought. Regis Progress, big, strong puncher, just like Brian Norman Jr., kind of flat footed, just like him. Uh, Brian Norman Jr. does a bit more than Regis, though. I think he's a bit more, fluid with the boxing style, the American style. I think he's better. He moves better, slightly better than Regis Progress. But as far as power, I think Regis is up there too with power. Um, Regis will hurt you. He hits you, you go watch Regis Progress's fights. That man touch your chin. Good night. So I Devin's fought these kind of guys before. So just don't think that, you know, uh Brian Norman Jr. is gonna go in there and just wipe down Devin like that. I don't see it that way. I think Devin will give him a competitive fight until it no longer. And I think Brian Norman Jr. doesn't have a lot of 12-round experience, if any. Devin does. Devin knows how to bite down on the mouthpiece. He's been there before with Loma when Loma was dragging him out to deep waters. And a lot of the Devin Haney fights of late have been going to the decisions anyway. He had Regis Progress in a lot of trouble, but what happened? You see what I'm saying? So Devin has this championship pedigree where that he has championship experience, right? And if you were gonna bank on all you really have in Brian Norman Jr., right, as of right now, is a strong puncher. He's got some skills. He's got skills. But we haven't seen that last in the 11th round. 10, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't know a Brian Norman Jr. like that. Can he still look the same? Could Devin Haney weather the storm, drag his ass out into fucking deep waters, and straight up drown his ass? I mean, the highest round he's ever been was 10. And he went the distance in a 10-round fight, 8-round fight, and he went the distance. That's it. His last 3 fights have been 12-round scheduled fights. The last one with Jin, it went 5 rounds. The one before that, it went 3 rounds, and the one before that, it went 10. He's hasn't gone 12 rounds yet. Never in his career. Brian Norman Jr. And that's alarming. That's alarming when, you're a young champion and you need these kind of fights, to learn what it is to be in those championship rounds and what to expect so that you don't drown. No wonder Jaron Boots Ennis wanted to fight him early because he knew, this kid might be good, talented, a big puncher, but he doesn't have the experience. I bet you nullify his power, drag him out into deep water, the fight will look different. You know? So that's. And if Haney is risking to take a loss, it's you know, respectfully, I would respect Devin Haney more for taking this fight. Truth be told, Devin Haney's never fought at 147, guys. Has he ever weighed in at 147? What was the biggest he ever weighed? 144? Right? You mean to tell me that Bill Haney and Devin Haney are so cocky, so confident that they say they see a phony baloney in Brian Norman Jr. and that they can walk up to a new division without, even though that 144 fight is going to be counted for the 147 division because once you pass that weight, you're now technically you will go under the 147. So that Rodriguez is, I mean Rivera, Ramirez, Jose Ramirez. I knew I was gonna get one of them right. Fight uh it will actually go down on record as a 147-pound fight because they were at 144, even though they didn't make the weight limit. But for a title fight, you're gonna have to show up at that weight. And Brian Norman Jr. is a champion. So okay. Shit, the fact that Devin would take such a challenge, my hats would be off to him if the fight happens. Can't give him credit for rumors, speculation. What if? What if Devin fights him? Yeah, what if? What if? If my aunt had a penis, she'd be my uncle. It's true. It's true, right? Think it through. you know? And it's always if, you know. I just need to see that these fights come together because we have a lot of boxing in front of us. The rest of the month is gonna close off. We got Dante Wilder. Not sure if you guys want to see that fight or whatever. Go ahead. Uh, I'll see if I get in and tune in on it. Dante Wilder was a great American boxing champ until he wasn't no more. He did his thing. I got to give him that. Uh, but the card itself, not interesting enough for me, you know. But that's what we got. Then we got July kicking off. Amanda Serrano. You know what I mean? New York City, Poppy. You know what I'm saying? Yo, forget about it. She's going to kick things off. And then the men have got to come up and do their thing. Shit. A lot of guys are starting to go with William Zepeda in this fight against Shakur Stevenson. And everywhere I look, now Shakur Stevenson's name is on top of Berlanga's name. Is it me or what the fuck is going on here? Right? Like everywhere I look now, it says like it's the Shakur Stevenson fight, not the Berlanga fight. Did I miss something? Did they announce that there's what's going on? Anybody can fill me in on that? What? Haney, clogged. What? Right, Norman Jr. is a better boxer than a phone booth. Haney can, yeah, elevate all his wants. That's the problem, though. I don't think Devin Haney's gonna meet him in a phone booth. I think that Devin Haney's best chances and opportunity here are to work the outside and not stay mid range too long. Like Devin Haney knows what it's like not to admire your work. You ever get those guys that come in and get a clean shot, boom, boom, and they stay there? You know what I'm saying? They like admiring their work, or they're caught watching the guy too long. You ever see the guy in the batter's box and the ball goes right by him? You're just watching. So those moments do happen, but that's the one thing about Devin Haney that I can honestly say throughout all his fights I've ever watched, I've never really saw him lose focus in the fight. Like he was doing too much moving against Jose, but he was focused shit. He was like moving around, looking right into his eyes, like, you know what I mean? Like Devin is really like on you. He doesn't fall asleep behind the wheel. You understand? Um, to be honest, the performance with Jose wasn't really bad. What made it bad was too far in between action. It was just too far in between. There was action, and then it was like action, and then like it was just too far in between. That's all. But he was punching accurate. Devin was landing his accurate shots. And he was landing his fair shots. It was just not a lot of offense. Okay. So if Devin Haney can pick up that offense, and disguise his legs more, because You can run around and be mobile the same way. Had he had more offense with that, they would have just said, nah, Devin was sticking and moving. He was out. That's not running, that's sticking and moving. And that's what that would have turned into. You could have disguised your running with a bit more offense. But when there's no offense in between all that, and all they're seeing is all this moving, that's what that becomes. So he says, so Friendline says, so you're saying Devin Haney will quit? Never seen Haney with the IQ of Charleston White boxing in the booth. Yo, listen. That was comical, that fight, Charles White against the Island Boy. But on their level, they were on the same level though. So it made it entertaining in a way, you know. But it was just a fucking hard fight to watch. But I watched it because of the excitement, because Unk was catching him. Bah, bah. Yo, the Island Boy is a sucker, right? Because had he had a little bit more heart, Charleston White was done. He was quitting. 10 more seconds, he was going to gas out. I know when that dude goes back and look at that tape, he's going to get mad at himself because he was still had energy. You see, I quit, but he wasn't fatigued. Charlie, he was in like, yo, give me a cigarette. Like, he was in the corner like, give me a cigarette. Yo, crazy. What's up? Angry white guy, how you doing, brother? What's up, Mr. Miyagi? With the $10 super chat. Everyone's wondering about the Norman left hook, but the guy has a killer uppercut and straight. I could see Devin getting caught as he tries to exit out. That's really smart right there. Devin doesn't exit good out clean. If you go watch those sparring videos against him and Tank Davis and some of Devin Haney's things, he shells up and he doesn't move out right at all. Devin. Um Rather than uh like stepping back, spreading your legs and step back and bring your other leg forward, he tries to leave his feet, and he leaves his feet and he lunges. He doesn't understand that the second you leave your feet, even if it's this much off of the ground, homeboy, you're off the ground. How are you gonna move or evade like that? That's why those guys that leap in short burst off their toes, when they try to like evade out, they're not coming out the correct way. And the guy has to just lunge forward like that. And he's going to catch him big with a check hook. I've seen that a lot of times. And a lot of fighters time it. They put pressure on you and try to see how you exit. And if Devin tries that bullshit and both his feet leave the ground, I don't care if it's this fucking much and it looks slick as hell, you're still off the ground. And he's going to get caught big. Yeah, that's exactly where I see it going down, to tell you the truth, Mr. Miyagi. It won't look like the gin punch, not like that. He's not going to catch him that flush. I don't think so. But he'll bait him into a big punch. Brian Norman Jr. has the ability, the counter punching, and he can catch up to Devin Haney at some point in the fight. And that's exactly the way that Mr. Miyagi said it. He's going to catch him trying to come off the ropes. And that's where Brian Norman Jr. has made his career. Like, most of his damage and a lot of his opportunities came off fighters trying to move or circle out of him and off the ropes, and he gets him in trouble. Either he's a put him down right there, or that's where it starts. Boom, boom, boom. He hits him with the big shot, and then the guy's like not the same, and he's like surviving, and so that's where Brian Norman Jr. has made a lot of his moments. And as you can see with Jin, look, fucking knocked that guy into a second realm. His spirit is stuck in between universes right now. That's why he can't remember shit, because that part of his spirit is still locked over there. That moment in time is over there in the third world party. I don't know how to say all those correct terms to that because I don't pay attention to that shit. But yeah, he's somewhere in there with Doctor Strange in them. You ever see the movie where like he's in those worlds, the ultimate dimension? I don't know what the fuck that shit is called. Yeah, I'm not a gaming nerd like that. I only play 2 games. God of War and Call of Duty. That's it. Oh, and Assassin's Creed. Yeah, I'll rock with Assassin's Creed. But yeah. I love the way what? Hold on. Wait, that's not you. I'm gonna get you up there. Carlos versus what? Canelo can be a yeah. Uh but he has a vicious body shot too. I love the way y'all wrote my man's off. That boy at 147 cracking more as well. Yo, listen. I didn't write him off. All right. I'm just saying. All right. Listen to both sides. Look, I'm saying Stock Chaser needs to acknowledge that July 12th will soon be here. And your boy, Alberto Puello, he's about to cost you $100, Stock Chaser. Don't forget, we got a live on that Matias. So on the day of the fight, I hope you show up with your cash app in your hand, ready to wire transfer 100 US pesos, right? And not pesos. It better be American US currency, all right? Into my account. Because your boy Alberto Puello, that boy going 9-9. He's going 9-9. You know what he's going to say? He's going to say the word uncle. Yeah, I said it for you in American. That way you understand it. He's going to say uncle. What? Imagine a man actually twisting your arm in front of your girlfriend, your mama, the entire world watching. And he say uncle. Say it. But it's gonna, for us Latin speaking people, it's gonna sound more like this. No mas. No mas. It's gonna sound more like that. But it translates to the same thing. It means the same. It means that another man made you surrender. Not only surrender. If you were just a regular guy, then you were saying uncle, then you would just be a regular guy, right? But I believe you came into the fight the champion of the world. Did he just make the champion of the world say, Uncle? Stop it. Stop it. I listen. Stop. Y'all laughing, huh? Listen, your boy's going night night. So I still stand on it, guys. Competitively wise, competition wise, I love Alberto Puello and Matias fight on this card. I think personally, I think it's gonna be the biggest fight. And all jokes aside, yo, I made the best man win. You know, this is gonna be a good fight. You know, and I hope the Dominican guys don't fucking wither away here and start just losing champions from here on in because they got a tough schedule. They got a really, hey, yo, do they got a tough schedule? See, Rohan Polanco got a tough one coming up. He needs to get past that guy, all right? Because Rohan got to get, man, listen, because I'm already seeing it. This is when the Dominican boxers, they're going to get tested once again. We've been here a few hundred times, my man. Let's not lie with the Dominican fighters. We've been here. We thought this guy, this wave, these guys were going to be the ones, blah, 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 and nothing. Got a couple champions out of the deal, you know, but nothing to write home about. I mean, I could hold up on one hand how many champions they have. Lifetime. Real world champions. That's not enough. So, Santo Domingo, bro, if y'all here, y'all once again got to the dance, y'all brought your fucking cousins with you. Got your fucking cousin right there, Carlos Adames. You got your fucking brother-in-law, fucking Alberto Puello. You know what I'm saying? I see your brain, fucking what's his name? I was just talking about him. Uh, what's his fucking name? I just lost it. His name just jumped out of my head. But anyway, they done brought a whole bunch of the Dominican fighters with them. Can't believe I can't remember a lot of Dominican fighters right now. There's a lot of few of them, but there's a lot of good ones. And I'm pretty sure later on I'm going to be like, oh shit, bing, 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 bing. Right? Some, you know, you have a brain fart sometimes. Right? Right? But they're here. And that's my whole point. You know, although I want to see them win, you know, Rohan Polanco, you know, that's the one I was thinking about. Although I want to see them win and stuff, they have to win. They got to do their own part. I can't just feel bad for them and be like, yeah, man, but this guy, no, fuck that. You got to earn your way in boxing. Just like we did, they got to earn their way too. That's how it goes. You know, when this is not that kind of sport. Pick up your participation trophy on the way out. Fuck that. You know what I mean? There are a lot of fighters that are getting opportunities. And that young kid, Abdullah Mason, he's about to fucking he's gonna get you know, is this a blessing in disguise that Keshan Davis had a meltdown? He took over the main event, and to award him, he gets a shot at the vacant belt. Or is this too much right now for the young man? Because they're going to attack him. He messes around and gets that WBO championship belt. Everybody else is going to attack Abdullah Mason. I would. If I was the rest of the champions, and that kid, and I don't mean to call him a kid, but he is. What is he, 20 years old? He walks into the division, and we all saw him go down twice. We know he needs work. We know he's flashy, he's good, he's strong. But there's levels to this. If I was Raymond Morataya, if I was Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson, yo, I would turn around like this. Yo, what you want to do with that belt? Yeah, I got one right here. Look at it. You want to fight for it? Fucking sucker into that shit. Gervonta's too much for him. Shakur's too much for him. Raymond Morataya might be too much for him right now. I think Abdullah can beat Raymond Morataya. I take that back. If anything, that would be a good fight. But Abdullah's just as nice as Raymond Morataya. I think Raymond Morataya might be a little bigger. He might be a little bigger than him. But Abdullah puts his punches real good in that. He got sneaky good shots, and he's a strong little puncher. I just don't think frame wise, he's bigger than these guys. These 135 champions, they're cutting a lot of weight to be there. And I think Abdullah is right around there. I think that these guys are just as skilled and bigger, if not bigger. Tank might have not fought all these world champions and did all that shit, but please, Prince ain't that stupid. He's not gonna put him in with Abdullah. Prince ain't gonna fucking be like, hell yeah, Tank Davis, I'll fight you. Shit. And you think Abdullah Mason will sign up to fight Shakur Stevenson? There's no fucking way. Shakur will beat the shit out of that dude. I think Abdullah's nice, but he's just underneath these guys. And these guys got the experience that he lacks. I think at some point in time, Abdullah will be able to compete with them. Yeah. He's fucking good. He's going to get there real fast. He might get there sooner than you think, right, Abdullah? But for right now, as he's going for shit, he better get by Sam Notes. Abdullah. He better get by that dude first. Quiet as kept, he might not get by him. Now, Abdullah dispatches Sam Notes like that, then I'll be like, okay. Because, that Sam Notes dude, man, he's pretty good everywhere. I was watching him and shit. Although, yeah, I had to admit, I don't think that the guys he was fighting were like Abdullah style fighters. And while I was watching it, there were a lot of sequences where I would have been like, nah, Abdullah would have been punching during this time. He would have been putting a lot of pressure on you and how you react to it, So, yeah, Sam Notes was beating on them dudes, but he was looking good while he was doing it. And he was showing that he was levels above at least these guys that they had in front of him. So as far as that goes, I honestly think Sam Notes is Abdullah's biggest challenge up to date. And if Sam Notes is your biggest challenge, you take Sam Notes. Go ahead, put him in with Shakur. Go ahead, put him in with Tank. Go ahead. Yo. Yeah, can you bring out the stretcher? Yeah, bring it. I told you to have it out here. Don't round one already continued. Like, let's go. Oh man. Nah, I don't think though these guys are ready for these other top guys. But the top guys acting like real divas. They're acting like hoes, bro. Tank don't want to fight nobody that even has a threat. I think he fucked up and fought Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach got his number. Tank's in trouble. Tank's in a lot of trouble when it comes to Lamont Roach. The only thing Lamont Roach got to do is not do too much. The person that has something to prove in this fight is Tank Davis. If you're patient enough, Lamont Roach, Tank has to come to you. He has to come to you because Tank's got to know he ain't going to get no decision on this one. All right? So at some point, Lamont Roach can reverse this on Tank if he plays and he manages the fight correctly. And he's going to be able to get that shot he's looking for. It's going to be there because Tank's going to give it to you in order to come in to get his. And Lamont Roach he's inside of Tank's head. He's renting space in Tank's head. Right now, as we speak, he's got a fucking 2-story condo in fucking Tank's head. Lamont Roach. He's about to put a pool in the backyard and maybe a little sauna jet ski spas where the little jet things come out. I think he's going to upgrade it as we get closer to the fight. Yeah. He's in Tank's mind, bro. Yeah, he is. He knows a lot about Tank Davis, and Lamont Roach is a much smarter fighter than a lot of people think he is. That, with having experience with sparring Gervonta Tank Davis over weeks and months of sparring, and with his natural ability to fight Lamont Roach, add that and combine, he's got Tank's number. He's got Tank's number. Tank's got a tough fight. If Tank can knock out Lamont Roach and figure him out now, Lamont Roach go in there do something stupid. Like, you seen how I heard him last time? I think I could do that. You might want to go watch that. You might want to go watch that, my man. You caught Tank Davis standing in a T like this. Yeah, he was off balance. Anything you would have did to Tank, you would have went like that to him. He was going to stumble. Didn't mean that your punch was hard. Is you legit caught him off balance. The fact that you didn't drop him off balance like that, that was like a free stun punch knockout. Knocked down, not out. Knocked down. That's when you hit a guy, boom, and he falls, psh, he gets right back up. You hit him off balance. You were supposed to drop him. The fact that you hit Tank Davis and he went off balance and came, you were supposed to drop him. He was. Just, have you guys seen the size of Tank Davis's head? You might not be able to miss, funny enough, but he can walk through those punches, bro. Just one. Over, like, so, but I can't say that Lamont Roach didn't take Gervonta Davis's punches for 12 rounds. Yes, the fuck he did. And he wore it well. He took his punches well. He took his fair shots, his fair licks. And it didn't seem like Tank Davis fucking moved him. Didn't seem like, I mean, though he didn't really catch him like flush, I don't think there was a sequence where he hit him with a big shot. And I was like, oh, there it is. And he was like, what's up? Like, I don't think that happened. I can't remember that moment if it did. But this is going to be a tough fight for him, I think, in my opinion. Keyshawn's what? Gambling with his position and how it has to what? Stick at the 140. He won't have made that. No, but you see, that's part of boxing right there, right? Basically, in the best way I could describe this, he tried to do what Ryan Garcia did to Devin Haney. Best scenario I can think of. That's, what he tried to do was without the PEs, of course, right? But the situation with the weight, where that if Ryan Garcia would have got the legit win, let's say hypothetically, Ryan never tests positive for no banned substance. He beats Devin Haney, but doesn't make the weight and didn't have an opportunity to win the belt. But his next fight would have boosted him up to the one above, right? Which would have been 147 for him in his case. But Keyshawn's at a smaller weight division at 135. He would have been going up to 140. So he would have used that to propel himself to a 140 massive showdown, which probably would have been quickly a world title fight, or if not, for like the mandatory to fight the champion next. Had he knocked out Edwin De Los Santos, because he was gambling in the fact, see, he could no longer make the weight. So he was already going to lose the belt. But everything he did from there on in, Keyshawn, was just the wrong decision. Because had he stayed disciplined, he could have made 135. He could have squeezed down and got that 135 and fought Edwin De Los Santos on an even playing field. But he didn't want to take the risk with such a big puncher. Lose the belt and go up and get stopped. That wasn't going to be so good. So let me come in the bigger man, replenish well, make him cut down all the weight, and I'll thin him down. I'll be able to beat him. Edwin De Los Santos took the high road. He said, man, fuck that. You're not going to use me as a springing board to move your way up to 140, Keshan Davis. Now Keyshawn was stuck. Because everybody takes the money. Right? They go back, penalize the guy for the few pounds, give this guy his money, redo a contract. We got ourselves a fight. Happens all the time. Edwin said, not this time. And I don't think Keshan Davis saw that coming. I don't think he saw that coming. And it fucked up everything for him. Fucked up his future potential bag. It messed up everything. Tell you the truth. They left that belt for the Masons to pick it up. Jay Prince was asked the same day, will Mason's next fight be for that belt? I said, yep, 90%. While he was smiling, they saw the meltdown that was the Keshan Davis's brothers. Look, and if Keshan Davis was leaving the division anyway, going up to 140, you weren't going to have him at 135. Your best bet was to look for your next 135-pound star. Who is that? Abdullah Mason. It's not like he lost the belt on the scale and was like, I'm going back for my belt, Keshan Davis. No. He will no longer fight at 135. That's a fact. His next fight will be at 140. So, who's your next star? Oh shit, look at this nice shiny freaking prospect that's dropping everybody, right? Abdullah Mason, step right up. Here's your time, here's your moment. I don't think Jay Prince is gonna sign him to fight fucking Shakur Stevenson. Isn't Shakur Stevenson with Jay Prince? Yeah, that would be a fucking in-house fight, right? He could make that fight like this. That shit would never happen. Why, if you got two world champions, why are you going to put your own two world champions to fight each other so that you only have one in the end? Only one payday. Just keep them away from each other and have two paydays. You know how the count used to count. You guys do know how to count, right? One payday. Two paydays. What's better, one or two? All right, then. Come on. Teal versus Keshan at 140. That would be a fucking awesome fight. Awesome fight, bro. It's got headline. It's got fucking suspense. It's got thriller. Everything is in that fight. The basket sent into Keshan Davis's room. The video of him eating a banana. The fact that Keshan Davis put hands on his papa. You put hands on Poppy? Not Poppy! Like, yo, bro, you got to get that back, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yo. That. Now that has headlines right there. You know what I'm saying? Tio versus Keshan is the fight to be made. That's the fight right there. That's the fight. Yep. Now, another thing, we have some other fights. We got to talk about it, guys. Jake Paul versus Little Junior here, right? Living off his dad's name. Right? So, look, I'm not going to tell you that I'm all like about the fucking main event with Jake Paul and Junior here, right? Saul Canelo, not Saul, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. here, right? But will it give Jake Paul validation as fighting a boxer? Right? And to a certain extent, yes, it will. Because Junior here really fought for a world champion. He fought Saul Canelo Alvarez. He's had an extensive boxing career. Although he wasn't as disciplined, he had a big layoff. And he got his ass kicked by some fucking, we know the stories, guys, right? Okay. But legitimately, that's a boxer. You can't argue that. Now, what will some people come out and say? You better believe this is what they're going to say when he beats him. All right? He was a former world champion, and he fought Saul Canelo Alvarez, and he fought all these other guys. Here's the thing to all of that. Jake Paul's, you're not fighting the same version of Junior here that he was 10 years ago. You're not fighting that version of him. You're fighting this guy. This guy that's been up in hotel fucking rooms with a bunch of call girls and God knows what, right? Up in them rooms. Party guy. You're fighting that guy. The guy that needs a payday. The guy that's name, Papi's name, couldn't carry him over the threshold for that you and him to be on Netflix. Netflix said, nah, we don't want that fight. So the DAZN picked it up. It's going to try to push it to us as a pay-per-view. Not try, they will, and they are. So I'm like, they're going to give him a ranking over this. Jake Paul, the WBC. If he beats Junior, he's going to wake up the next day with a ranking in the WBC. At what weight division? I don't fucking know. I think they're going to put him in the rankings from, I guess, heavyweight all the way down to like 168 or some shit. It's just going to be Jake Paul all the way down. I don't know what weight division he fights in. I have no idea. So, and he has never fought no real boxers. So, this was just a guy, man, that was chasing, a dream of his to try to become a fighter. And he had a knack at fighting and he was pretty decent in it. And I mean, we knew what this was from the beginning, guys. Let's not start talking him up in rooms like he's supposed to be this accomplished boxer and he should have been on this level. That's what he never was that. They're trying to like cross him over. Jake Paul was more entertainment than anything. Putting two guys at a half decent level in there and rock'em sock'em robots. That's what that was. And until he started trying to view himself as like the best in boxing. I'm better than Saul Canelo Alvarez. I'll knock out Demetrius Bivol. Like, what'd you just say? Like, and we got to stop taking him serious. Jake Paul's just trying to sell a fight, people. That's all. Yeah. If there was any place to pull that mistake and stunt that Keshan pulled off, missing weight, it was at home where the city will forgive him. Yeah, I guess in a way that's true. If he was gonna pull off a stunt like that, but and then the distasteful thing when he went into the locker room with the baby in the hallway, all that other shit, bro. Just 2 days ago, the mayor gave you the key to the city. What the fuck, bro? Then the mayor's getting a phone call. You gave a key to the city to this guy. He's a fucking thug. Like, you know, we're not against those rappers, but we are against those thugs. Yo, listen, fight fans, you guys have been amazing. Don't forget to hit that like button for me, man. Hit that like button, guys. It really helps for the visibility of the channel. So I'm gonna hop off right now. Gotta make myself something to eat. I just worked out too. So I've been moving around doing a lot, guys. But thank you for tuning in. Keshan was what? Headlining any fights at home. No time soon. He won't be headlining any fights at home anytime soon. I don't think so. Yeah, he might have screwed that one up for a little while. Paul per view. Well, we're gonna see about all these fights, guys. So stay tuned, guys. Lock in. Don't forget to hit that bell notification icon. It alerts you to when every time I'm going on live. Love yourselves. Have a blessed day, and I'll be on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports.